that, and whoa, I have some weird lighting on my face. See that? Whoa. Sorry, my window's like all, you know, wet. Anyway, ignoring the weird lines on my face. I have my first comp today of the year. I just realized actually I haven't competed yet in 2020 because it's been such a hectic start of the year. It's been such a hectic start of the year with fires, floods, and now obviously the coronavirus. Bambi and I have our first competition together. This is actually Bambi's first official competition. She did one competition at her previous owners, but it was unofficial and it was a very small schooling show, where this is a big hack show with a lot going on and it's going to be pretty busy. This is day one. We are just doing her breed classes, which is her led Warmblood and her ridden Warmblood. So it's the Friday, which means it should be more quiet and it'll be nice for her to just go out and do 2 classes. But yeah, I'm going to go get her and get everything on the float and ready. Little Miss Bambi. Now, yes, I have moved her skinny hood back. Let me just clip her up. I did move her skinny hood back just because it's actually a little bit big on her, unfortunately. So overnight it kind of rubbed under her eye a little bit, but her eye's looking really good now, which is good. She's looking in the sun, so she's a bit glary, but so it's looking good. It's just a little bit closed, but I've bathed it and it's not weeping or anything, which is good. Come on. Just like grass. I forgot I had the hat on my head. Sorry, Dad put his hat on my head to put in the car and I forgot to take it off my head, so it's still there. Yeah, I thought I'm kind of still getting used to Bambi's sizing because she's a 6 foot in rugs, so we thought she'd be a full in like head collars and skinny hoods and stuff. Turns out she's not. She's got like, because she's actually a cob in, come here, a cob in her head collars / halters and hoods. Like, no, stay out here, Bambi. So yeah. Oh, and by the way, I only unzipped and put her skinny hood like this morning, so like I've been watching her the whole time. Overnight she had it done up, and then when I came out in the morning it just didn't look very comfortable, so just for this morning while I've been watching her I unzipped it and she's happy and the head collar holds it back. But yeah, so she's a little Warmblood because she's only 15.2, still working out sizings and stuff, but cat. We're gonna get her on the float now. Here's her Mac and Mall trading set. Our overhood as well was too big for her, unfortunately, so we will be getting new ones, but this is her beautiful rug and tail bag, which looks amazing. She's just munching on some leftover hay. And yeah, time to get on the float. So Bambi's had her walk around and check the place out. She could not have cared less about it, which is good. She's just munching on her hay. We've given her water. We even just left her for a little bit with her hay, just to see how she was. Came back and she's happy eating her hay. So we're still a bit away, but I'm going to start slowly getting her ready. And yeah, she is acting like she's been to hack shows her whole life and nothing is fazing her so far. To show you our progress, look at those nice little black hooves. I need to do another coat because I accidentally did chalk after, but I haven't unwrapped her tail yet. But look at those socks. Now I'm going to do her quarter marks. Kind of hard to see in the light, but she has her quarter marks done and I'm about to unwrap the tail. What a nice pony. Okay guys, so here is our first class, which is the led Warmblood mare. Now the judge on the Warmblood ring had a lot of complaints, and it's because he would judge the classes and then instead of doing a separate class for the champion, he would just pick the horses that he liked on the ring and not run a separate class. So where we came second in this, in the led mare, he based the champion reserve off what we did in this class too, which really sucked, and I'll show you why in a minute. Now, Dad didn't film my trot because he was having troubles with my camera, but luckily one of my friends actually filmed it and put it on her Instagram story, so I've got a screen recording of that, and you'll see why I was disappointed we didn't have a champion workout, and that's because Bambi broke into canter here, and obviously you don't want them to canter, and I think that impacted us not getting champion or reserve massively, where 2 geldings ended up getting champion and reserve, and this is me coming out of the class after it happened, and I was like, oh, that's so annoying, like, why? But I was so happy with her, and moving on to the ridden Warmblood mare. As you can see in this clip here, she's very tense. When we started, she started off very tense and just wouldn't relax, and then after about a minute she actually relaxed beautifully, and the main reason that she relaxed is because I was talking to myself of what my coach tells me to do when I ride her, which isn't something that always goes through my head, but I was like, what do I do? How do I get her to relax? How do I let her to stretch her neck out a bit more? And as soon as I relaxed and started focusing on what my coach tells me to do, she relaxed, which you will see in the next clip. See how like tight she is in the neck there? And then here she's a bit longer in the neck and she's not as tense. She's still a little bit tense though, but as you can see throughout these clips, she just relaxes more and more. Keep in mind this is a very new thing for her as well. I was rushed for this class because they moved it forward because this judge, same judge as before, was in such a rush. So here I asked for a canter and did not prepare her how she needs to be prepared. She's very particular and she was disunited. I just didn't really think it through a lot. It was completely my own rider error, and I just kind of rode her how I would have rode Jep, where I just kind of asked for the canter and didn't set her up how she, as a young Warmblood, needs to be set up. She's very green, and a canter is something that she finds very difficult, where I'm, still getting used to it, as even though Kai's younger and green, he is pretty consistent and good with his canter and strong with, my aids, and I'm still getting used to her, but she performed beautifully and actually won this class, but due to her disuniting in that she didn't get champion or reserve, 2 geldings did, because there was no champion class, which was frustrating because I think she would have had a chance. She has a new skinny hood, as you can see, which is nice. This one fits her. And she is all actually quite tired and like really happy to stand now after that one class. So yeah, she won her ridden Warmblood, and as you can see, she wants to go home. So we're going to take her home now and come back tomorrow. Day 2. I am tired. Okay, here is my rider class. As you can see, she's tense, she's above the bit a lot, and these first few classes were tough. Her canter's pretty nice there. We got first in my rider, which then took us to the champion/reserve. And these were all judged on the ring just because there was a lot going on in the morning. It was kind of hectic. First thing, we were having a lot of horses running loose, and it was raining at this stage. But as you can see, very inconsistent. Good moments, bad moments. We just got better as the day went on though, which was awesome. This was a lot different to the day before. I left all these parts in, like this here, little kerfuffle. But we got reserve champion rider, and then this is her novice hack. Not much to say about this. I was the only one in the novice hack, so we obviously got first because there was no one else against us. But this was a lot busier than the day before, so it was a lot for her to take in. It was also wet, and I mean, it was just a lot. Like, horses everywhere, horses getting loose and running straight up to her, and she was so good. But obviously, being her first big show, well, like first show at all really, she was quite tense to start off with, but you can just see from the videos she just gets more and more relaxed each class. So here we have the intermediate hack. The issue I had, I hate to be this person, but I felt like the judge wrote us off from the first few classes she saw us do. And I'd noticed it as what, I also noticed this because she just wouldn't look at me again. She wouldn't watch me go around the ring, and most of these classes were judged on the ring, and there were horses going around carrying on. Bambi would go around perfectly and was just getting more and more relaxed, didn't put a foot wrong, wasn't naughty, did everything I asked her to do. The only problem was she'd get a bit tense or inconsistent in the contact, but the judge just wouldn't look at us anymore. And I felt like she wrote us off after our first few dodgy classes. Here is our open hack. As you can see, she's just getting so much better. You'll see my hand, like my outside hand, reach forward quite a bit. I would just pat her and tell her she's doing a good job. She really, really thrives off, you know, her rider telling her she's doing a good job, and that just helps her relax even more. So I like to reassure her and tell her that she is doing a good job as often as I can, which I tend to do typically when the judge is not looking, but the judge was barely looking at me by this stage in the classes, so it was quite easy to do it. That's what that was just there. But yeah, as you can see, she's going around so nicely here and just beautifully. Not funny in the transitions anymore, not putting her head up. She was just going around so nicely. A lot of other horses, it was the opposite. Most in our class were getting worse as the day went on, as it got windier and a bit more wet, and, you know, horses were just getting funny. This horse that I'm overtaking now, for example, is one of the ones that did beat us in this class, and one of the examples of a few of the other horses that was carrying on were doing things like that. And Bambi just kept going. But yeah, I don't know. I always have a love-hate relationship with showing / hacking, because it's just like when you get a judge like this, that it feels like they watch you in like the first class or two, and she literally just saw her look away as soon as I went in front of her then. But yeah, they just write you off after and like won't look at you again. I like judges that will place you accordingly on that specific class, not on how you performed in classes before, which is obviously not how it's supposed to be. They should be placing you according to how you went on that class. Same with the other riders. Like, other riders shouldn't be placing highly when their horses are carrying on around the ring and they can't get like 5 steps of decent work out of them. Anyway, that's my rant. It's hard, and I mean, all my places and classes are coming up as we go along with this, so I feel like I don't need to say much, because you can read all that, but it was just frustrating. And you'll see my champion workout come up soon, which is like the individual, so you were given a free workout in this one, so this is my free workout for the champion. Now, I knew I pretty much had no chance, because the judge just wasn't really a big fan of us for whatever reason. And she also knew not majority, but the people she gave champion reserve to, she did know. And I know that for a fact because of how she was talking to them about their horses and about how they've improved and bits and pieces like that. And just, you know, conversations you have with people, you know. Anyway, I came out of this workout class. A lot of you may look at it and think it's fairly average or it's not that great, but I was so happy with how Bambi worked. She struggles a lot with her canter. She's very, very weak in her canter, especially getting her leads. She got her leads perfectly. She was fairly consistent in the contact, and she just tried so hard. Obviously, the canter's quite, you know, we'd like it slower. We'd like her back on her hind end a bit, but she's just not strong enough for that yet. I was just so happy. I could not get over how happy I was. I was in the lineup just constantly patting her and hugging her and telling her how much of a good girl she was, because she did a really good job, and she was getting tired at this stage. As you can see, she's a bit lazy here, and I'm having to egg her on quite a bit with my leg, but she tried so hard, and she's just, you know, I'm so excited for the future with this horse, and this is her first actual show. Like, she's just awesome. Bambino Pampino. we're home. We didn't stay for Pony Club classes because I wanted to end on that awesome note. I mean, I would have shared my feelings already, I'm sure, throughout. Don't eat the weed. But I'm so proud of her. It's just a shame the judge wasn't quite as, it's just kind of hard. The judge knew people as well, which I found out after she gave champion and reserve, with how she was talking to them and what she was saying. So it kind of sucks, but that's showing for you, and this is why we don't normally do showing. But it was a great first show for her, and she handled it so well and got better and better with every class she did.